May the Lord God bless you. Today is July 16th and this is a very important day because we are in the journey of life change in 6 and 4 and today is another step forward. This is the 29th lesson of the series. So my congratulations, we completed a lot. So let's start the 6th commandment. We finished the 7th. Remember, we coming from the bottom to the top. Descending order. We completed 7th. Do not commit adultery. And now today, the 6th commandment. What it is? Let's go to the book of Exodus and chapter 20, verse 13. It says, "You shall not murder." Do not murder. You shall not murder. That is the 6th commandment. The definition of murdering is to stop someone's physical living. Means our heart beats and all the body, the organs are functioning, and this living being, this person, someone stop this living means kill the person, physically killing. Right. That is the definition, one of the definition of murdering. There are some other, but just for the moment, remember ending the physical life. So when you say that ending the physical life or killing someone, that is very understandable. That's not a hard word to understand. So in this physical killing, we can divide into two parts. First is planned killing, planned murdering, and the second one is unplanned. So let's move on. Talk about planned murdering. The first thing is, that means we have a need, we have a desire to kill someone, and then they plan how to do this, when, and what way, what we use, and how to hide ourselves, how to protect ourselves. So all these things are there. That is the planning process. It takes days, maybe months, maybe years. But there's a process of planning. So plan, and then at the end, as a result, they kill that person. So that is planned murdering. In this planned murdering, what should be the first and foremost? There are three important parts. First is abortion. That is very, very important because they kill the baby not even after delivery. The baby hasn't delivered yet. The baby is still in the mom's womb, but the complete living being. He or she is developing, but they kill that innocent child. That is the first and foremost, because that child, that innocent baby, has no way to protect themselves. They cannot take any precautions or any defensive mechanism. No, they are very innocent. In the last week lesson, we learned dig deep into this abortion. Physical aspect of it, emotional, psychological aspect of it, and also the theological aspect of it. So we know details, but I would like to remind you, go to that lesson again. Lesson 28, the last week one. If you missed it, completely understanding is right there. So click on it and get the knowledge and share it. So right now, let's move on. That is abortion, the first one of planned murdering. The second one is they kill someone with the desire of taking something, to receiving something that it is not given to you. Means breaking the 10th commandment covered the greed and plan, and to steal, they kill the person who belongs to that. For example, robbing. They need to get that money or jewelries or gold or whatever, but they cannot take it because it is not theirs. It belongs to someone else. So the way is they go and steal and robbing, but when the person recognizes who these people are, then they kill it as a defensive mechanism, but that is completely a murdering. Right? So what else? They go for sex. We know that adultery, sexual immorality is a huge burning desire, that sinful, that is completely a sin, that sin develops in someone's mind and they get it done, and then at the end they kill the lady, girl, woman, whoever. Rape and kill. Having sexual relationship and kill. So now two things. Abortion, and the second one is in order to get something, they kill. Second one. What is the third one? Third one is, the reason is due to, that is, all these are psychologically, otherwise emotionally reasons, starting from the 10th commandment. Envy, jealous, anger, then it becomes a hatred, then they plan, then they go against, that bitterness develops to hatred and they plan to kill. So these are the three main reasons to well-planned murdering. So now let's go to the first murder. Whenever we learn all these commandments, we went to find out the history of it. And today let's find out what is the first murder in the whole world. It is very clearly recorded. Let's go through it and then we can get the clear understanding. We are in book of Genesis chapter 4. So here the background education. First couple, Adam and Eve, they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. Why? Because of this sin. So they have no access anymore to the Garden of Eden. So they went out with all these sinful thoughts and completely they are sinners now. Then they had sexual relationship and they had 2 children. Firstborn was Cain. The second-born son was Abel. So 2 brothers. Now listen, their profession. The big brother Cain was a farmer, and the second one, the younger brother Abel, was a shepherd boy. So at the end of the year or the season, they brought some offering to the Lord God. And look what happened. Let's go and read this. Chapter 4, Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. It says, "And Abel on his part also brought of the firstling of his flock." And before that, the verse 3 says, "Cain brought an offering to the Lord of the fruit of the ground." Look what happened. Verse 4 at the end, Lord had regard for Abel and for his offering, but for Cain and for his offering, he had no regard. This is what happened. Why? The Lord God doesn't look at what they brought, but he look at the inner heart, the thought process. So he took Abel's but not Cain's. Right. So then what happened? Look at this one. The consequence, the result of it. So Cain became very angry and his countenance fell. What does that mean? He got very, very angry. Before that, he was very envy, jealous for his brother, and that developed into bitterness and anger. Now, he was very angry with brother Abel, and not only that, that anger is something emotional that is in the mind. But when it develops, what happens? The hormone, the hormone secretions happens, and now the Bible clearly says his face was changed. His pleasant, simple, smiley face was changed into very rude and cruel and dark. Why? Because of this bitterness, anger, hatred. Now, after, I don't know if it is the same day or couple of days later or months later, but someday this thing happened, the murdering take place. But during that time, Cain develops this thought process, and now he plans to kill his poor brother. He is planning, okay, how do I do this? And he takes all the necessary steps for the developing thought process, and this is how he put this into practice. His plan is in action right now. Verse 8. And Cain called Abel his brother. So Cain called his brother Abel tactfully. All these plans were into practice, and that is the purpose of him to call his brother. But poor Abel didn't know anything. Oh, my brother called me, let me go. And he ran to him, and both of them went to the field. See the two different ends. And then what happened? Verse 8 again, at the last part of it, that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. It took place. He rose up against his brother and killed him. So here it is not clearly written how he killed, maybe choked, maybe stoned to death, or maybe, remember, he is a farmer. He had all these agricultural tools. Maybe he used sharp tool to kill, but however it took place. He developed the anger, bitterness, and then finally it took place. It came to practice, and he rose against his brother and killed him. Envy, anger becomes a murder. So, right, believe that you understood the depth of it, and here's the homework for the week. Just take a moment and find out couple of murder cases. Not from the Bible, everyone has it. So, from whenever you remember, maybe from a newspaper, maybe the case that you heard from your teachers or your elders, so or you notice that there's something happened and something, couple of cases, take it, well-planned murders. And study that step by step how it matches with these divine principles. Envy, anger, bitterness, hatred, or greed. To get something that you don't have it, but the real owner is going to be killed. So all these things are written. These are the divine principles. Whatever and whenever it takes place, you can see, if you really analyze that, you can see how it is matching with the divine principles. So that is the homework. Take a couple of examples and analyze thought process, developing part, the planning process, and then how it put into practice. So if you do that, so comment underneath and let us know. Again, let me remind you, if you missed last week's lesson number 28, I would encourage you, please go back and get that knowledge, because that is very important. That is the end of the 7th commandment, but beginning of the beginning of the 6th commandment. These two things are very, very linked to each other. Right? So let's see you exactly in a week. May the Lord God bless you and keep you.